Well, hey, what is going on, Blue Crew? So today we're coming at you today with an exclusive Blue Crew Live. Usually we do these Blue Crew Lives in our Silent No More community, but today we're actually going live publicly. Why did we decide to do this, Troy? I mean, there was some questions that were coming up because of our group, and we talked about this privately in our group yesterday, but because we take a very objective approach to politics in our Silent No More group, we don't get political in the group, but we do urge people to vote for candidates that support law enforcement. But it's raised a lot of questions as far as who do we support? Are you guys conservative? Are you liberal? Are you for police? Or are you against police? Which is kind of dumb in my opinion. Like, of course, I mean, our founder's a Leo, for crying out loud. So anyway, so what really prompted this? Just to kind of lay a foundation and let people join us. What really prompted this?
Well, we've got so many people that are, I mean, I shouldn't say so many. There's a couple of handfuls of people that continue, and that's people from both sides, honestly. Yeah. Both conservative and the other. But they're messaging in, they're calling us, they're writing us, etc. And they're just saying, hey, where do you guys stand? Why are politics not allowed on this page? So on and so forth. You say Silent No More, but then you don't allow us to vote our opinions, as far as politics go on the site. Well, we do allow that on this page, on the Bridge to Blue page, okay, Facebook page. We don't allow it within the Silent No More group.
And that group is a private group. This page is public. So anything that we post on this page, and really quick, I do want to say this because there's a lot of people in our private group that they ask, well, I want to share this. How come I can't share this? And the reason is because it's a private group. But whenever we post things here on our public page, you can share that all day long. You can like it, share it, and so there is a difference between a private group and a public page. It's kind of like we talked about yesterday in our private group whenever we did our Blue Crew Live yesterday. I was a smoker for a while. I was smoking about a pack and a half. I haven't had a cigarette in almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years this December. But if I came into your house, Troy, your private abode, and I wanted to have a cigarette, what would you say?
No way, Jose.
But why? Are you trying to silence me? Are you trying to censor me?
No,
Are you trying to take my rights away?
I just don't want the crap in my house.
And that's the same with our Silent No More private Facebook group. We have rules and we have guidelines. That's our private house, guys. So we make these rules because that group has a very specific purpose. After all, we are called Bridge the Blue. We're trying to build bridges, but we wanted to talk about today stuff that we won't talk about in the group, but we will here because this is a public domain, so to speak.
So just to continue on, why do we have the Silent No More group? Okay, why do we have that private group? Why have we built that? Okay, which has 100 and some thousand people,
almost 110,000.
We built that group because we felt like there needs to be some place that is safe, a safety zone, etc., where LEO family, LEO supporters, LEO themselves can go and just receive encouragement.
Come on.
There's plenty of places for us to go and get knocked on the ground. We can get beat up. We can be told this and that, and we can complain and blah blah blah. Okay. But there's not very many places out there where we can go and just receive encouragement and receive positive aspects of things. And so that is why we have the Silent No More group.
And let me ask you, Troy, because you are an active Leo currently. You've been in law enforcement for 30 plus years. What is it like being able to get away from all of the garbage on the street and all of the stuff that you guys go through and be able to come into a group where you actually see encouragement and positivity? What does that mean to you as a law enforcement officer?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same for any of us. When we're bombarded with that stuff all the time, we've got to have a safety place. We got to have a place that we can go and just be refueled, refed, and positive poured in, not the negative, because again, like you said, we get that all day long,
right.
That's not a shortage anywhere. People are very quick to be negative, unfortunately, in general. But the positive is hard to come by sometimes. So, and I think just about everybody out there listening can attest to that. So, no matter where you work or no matter what you do.
Yep.
So we have to have that safety area, and we don't want to break the rules either. Since we've set them,
Yeah.
But we do want to go ahead and answer the questions. Where do we stand as an organization, as individuals? People are asking. So we just wanted to create a short time. We're not going to be here very long today, just to go over a few names and a few reasons of why we support who we support. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to start us off, and who do we support on the Black conservative side of things?
Well, first and foremost, I think that there's been nobody that's done more for the Black community than someone we have standing with us here today, and that's President Trump. Now, we're not going to let you know whether or not we support Trump yet or not. I mean, it might seem obvious, but in all reality, he agreed to be our special guest today, so he's agreed to have Troy's back here in front of our thin blue line American flag. But we do have a pretty long list of Black conservatives that we support, and one of the things that I definitely want to encourage you guys to do is to go to UncleTom.com. As soon as that documentary came out, I purchased it, the streaming and the DVD, and Troy also got a hold of it, watched it, and we've been recommending that to everyone because whenever we talk about,
it's a great flick. Yeah,
whenever we talk about Black lives mattering, like real Black lives mattering, that's not just the Black lives that support a Marxist movement. There, I said it. We're not just talking about Black lives that support a Marxist movement, but do their lives matter? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But all Black lives matter. And there have been so many lies. It's like the wool has been pulled over the eyes of not only the Black community, but also over the white community, the Hispanic community. And so what Uncle Tom is all about, for those of you that don't know, Uncle Tom, that is a derogatory term used for Black Americans that think for themselves, that think independently and don't buy into the narrative. Okay. And so I want to give you a list of some Black conservatives, some of which were actually in the Uncle Tom documentary. And but some of these are Alveda King, which is the niece of Martin Luther King, and she's also a former member of the Georgia House of Representatives. Dr. Ben Carson. Man, I wish we could just talk about Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, who is a former police officer. And for those of you that don't know, Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum co-founded an organization called Blexit. Did y'all know that right now there is a movement, a Black exit from the left that is going on, and spearheaded by Candace Owens and former police officer Brandon Tatum? I would encourage you to look these guys up.
Amazing people. They're both just absolutely amazing.
Carol Swain, Colonel Allen West, who on October the 10th, we're going to get the privilege of being with Colonel Allen West on October the 10th for our rally here. And there's a lot going on October the 10th for us. We have a full day schedule. It's not just our rally at 1 o'clock. Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. Guys, these are Black conservative Americans that think for themselves, that look at the facts, that stand up for the truth, and they're called Uncle Toms. We just call them patriots. We call them family, and we call them brothers. We call them sisters. Yeah. See, we don't really see color. Whenever I grew up in high school, I went to Stafford High School. We called it Stafford America because there was a healthy mix, a very multicultural mix. And whenever I played football, whenever I played basketball, when I did powerlifting, or whenever I had friends, I didn't see the color of their skin. Now, let me make sure I'm crystal clear before I hand this back over to Troy. I want to make sure I'm crystal clear about something. We don't see color because that just brings division, but we do appreciate culture. Yeah. Culture is so important because you know what? I don't use the term African American because not all Black Americans in this country come from Africa. That we have some from Jamaica. We have some. Here's the thing: is that I don't call myself a Polish, German, English, Austrian American. I'm an American. I'm a white American, or whatever that my skin tone is. Mm-hmm. But we don't see color, but we see culture. Because cultures are unique, and we appreciate culture. Heck, I think probably my favorite culture other than Texas barbecue is Mexican food. I love the Mexican culture. And I'm specifically saying the Mexican culture because being here in Houston, we don't have a shortage of tacos, tortas.
Praise the Lord.
Oh, man. Dude, we appreciate culture, but as far as color, we're not going to judge anybody by the color of their skin, either for the positive or the negative. We want to judge someone by their character, which is what Martin Luther King was all about. Not that we would be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. So we appreciate culture. But those are a list of some black conservatives that we support, that we actually listen to, that we promote. And again, go to UncleTom.com. It'll be well worth it. That documentary has actually changed people's minds about the Democrat liberal party. And so with that, I could talk about this all day long because I'm so passionate about our just this racial tension. I'm so passionate about it. But I could spend all day on that. But let's talk about some local conservatives. There's some local conservatives that we actually support. Let's talk a little bit about that.
And again, it's just I felt like it was important for us to go ahead and just be on here and let everybody know, where we're standing. Any of you that actually know me personally, you're going to know that I'm very strong in my beliefs. On the Silent No More page, I don't vocal a lot of that for the most part.
I'm very strong in my beliefs too. That's why I don't drink Starbucks. We have to be vocal. We have to be vocal. Yeah. And that's part of what this is right here, is us being vocal, saying, no, this is where we stand, and this is why we stand this way. So on the local side, of course, Governor Greg Abbott, just an incredible patriot, man of God. I mean, I just love that guy. And we're in Texas, by the way. Yeah. We're Texas strong, baby.
Yep. John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, another. I just
Saturday again, October the 10th. Colonel Allen West, Ted Cruz, here in Conroe.
Yep, they're going to be here. So, Nan Huffman, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to meet that woman, but I encourage you to look her up. She is an amazing woman of God, and just a real patriot, supporter of law enforcement, and the list goes on and on.
And she's gaining so much momentum right now.
Briscoe Cain, James Earl White, another amazing God. Godly man. So,
also a black conservative, by the way.
Yep. Dan Crenshaw. Love the guy. Again, talking about a patriot, talking about a man that loves this country. Man, he fought for this country over and over. And he's still fighting for this country, just in a different capacity. All these people are. Joe Dana, Republican primary for Harris County Sheriff. We stand with these people because they are standing for God. They're standing for this country. They're not putting up with the BS anymore. Okay, just being real. They are very strong, godly men that love each and women, each and every one of them. The support to the T, to the top of the mark, our law enforcement personnel. And every single one of these are pro-lifers.
Oh yeah.
So
and I do just really quick on Joe Dana. I do want to just mention that he recently lost his wife Donna, and if you're watching, I want you to know that we support you, we love you, we love everything that your wife stood for. And we love what you're doing to continue her legacy. And so, Officer Joe Dana, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we love everything that you stand for and everything that you are doing. And so I wanted to, if you can, just give him some love. It's very, very hard losing a spouse, especially one as amazing as Donna Dana was.
Yeah. So, right on. Hey, before we get to this next part, I just want to say that on top of everything, we are supporters of God.
Absolutely.
Okay. We put our faith in Him. We are, or Christian, beliefs is what we live by. Relationship, not religion, is where we stand.
Yeah.
And I believe that this country was founded on the Word of God, and this country has been called to lead and help guide and to bless countries around the world. We were born as a country to do that, and I want to see us get back to the core values that this country was founded on, and that primarily starts with the Word of God.
Come on.
So I just want to make sure and say that, to everybody as well, that's where we stand. Now, as far as on the federal side, presidential race, who are we standing for? Well, I think it's pretty clear for the most part.
Who stands with law enforcement?
But I am very much a strong component believer in President Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We both are. Most of the people that work with us are. Actually, everybody I know of anyway. But I believe this man has done incredible things for our country. Incredible things.
Just look at his record. Stop paying attention to the rhetoric. Stop paying attention to what comes out of his mouth. Look at his actions, because actions speak louder than words. Look at what he's accomplished. Look at what he's done.
Yep.
We talk about we were talking about Black America, and I said he's done more for Black. You know that Black unemployment prior to the scamdemic, that Black unemployment was at an all-time low.
Yeah.
An all-time low.
Wow. Crazy. I could spend the rest of the day, I'm being real with you, sitting here talking about this and the differences between, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Okay? Because that is two completely different sides of the coin. Matter of fact, I want to read something that I wrote down here to you. And I wrote it down because I didn't want to mess it up. The difference between Trump, Pence, and Biden, Harris are crystal clear. There is no question about it when it comes to this. Okay? Your choices are the most pro-law enforcement president we have ever had,
Yep.
or the most radical anti-police ticket in history.
Yep. And whether we want to believe that or not, that's reality.
It is reality.
That is reality. Again, look at their records.
Yep.
Look at their records. Let's talk about Biden for a second. You talk about let's compare to Trump. So Biden in what was it, 93, okay? There was an act that was signed that put more innocent Black Americans or Black Americans that just did something really small in prison for things that they shouldn't have gone to prison for, and Trump got them out. Mm-hmm. Trump, not Biden. Biden's had 47, 48 years to make a difference, and all of a sudden now he cares about the country? No. Yeah. You got to look at the record. You got to look at their action or lack thereof. Yeah. And President Trump, again, going back to what he's done for Black America.
And everyone else.
I
mean, the guy's not perfect. Matter of fact, there isn't a person on this planet that is perfect. The only one that's ever walked this planet that's been perfect is Jesus Christ himself.
But you know what? Okay? I didn't vote for Trump to be my pastor.
No.
I voted for Trump to be my president.
Come on, to lead this country. So, and what he's doing is phenomenal. And what he is going to do in his second term, and I just speak that out, his second term.
Come on.
Because I believe it's going to happen. And honestly, I believe it's going to be a landslide unless the other side the leftists get in there and manipulate the tickets and, all that kind of stuff, like they've already been trying. So, but that's where we stand, folks. We are definitely pro-Trump. Individuals, as an organization, we endorse these people right here that we just spoke about as well. Yeah. So there you have it. That's where we stand. That's who we are. And I want to encourage everybody to get out there and vote. You got a few more days to register to vote. You got until October 6th. If you have not registered to vote, I encourage you to get out there and register. Yeah. Because as much as they say, some will say, well, your vote doesn't really matter. It's all the electorals. Well, I'm telling you, your vote does matter. It does matter.
Because the electoral college, here's what you need to understand. I don't want to really get into this. PragerU has a video that's spot on explaining this. But whenever you vote for one candidate over the other, really what you're doing is you're voting for the electoral representative that will be voting on your behalf.
Yeah.
So your vote absolutely does count.
It does count. It does count. And we need every one of what is called the silent majority to not be silent this November. Okay.
Come on.
We need everybody to get out there and vote.
Yep.
Okay. We have got to continue to take this country back. We've got to be vocal. We've got to be heard. And this is one huge way that you've got to stand up and be heard by casting your ballot.
Yep.
Okay. So appreciate you all. Love you all. You're incredible. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for uniting arm in arm and taking this country back.
Want to make sure that if you're not part of our Silent No More group, want to encourage you to join us. You could just do a search for Bridge the Blue Silent No More. Or if you're on our page, our group is actually listed on our page. Also, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We're on there as well. And October the 10th, we have nationwide rallies. Go to bridgetheblue.com/rally to find a rally in a state, either in your state or a state near you. Let's get there. Let's make a statement. We're going to remain silent no more. We are no longer the silent majority. We are the unsilent majority. So with that, thank you guys. God bless you, and thanks for tuning in.